They say no one dared to walk past the old farmer's field after dark, because at night, that scarecrow moved. And if you ever saw it move, it meant it was already too late. There was an old farmer in Arizona who owned the best farm in the entire area. His crops grew tall, golden, and perfect, while every other farm around him struggled. People came from miles away to buy his produce and admire the endless rows of corn and wheat swaying in the wind. Whenever someone asked him how he managed to keep his crops so perfect, the farmer would always smile and say the same thing. "It's all thanks to my scarecrow." He said it proudly, but everyone who'd seen that scarecrow swore it was the ugliest, most horrifying thing they had ever laid eyes on. The farmer had built it himself. He spent months working on it, carving the head out of a giant pumpkin, giving it twisted, uneven features that looked almost alive. Its body had long, straw-filled arms that stretched 6 feet across, and legs so tall they made it look like a thin, watching tree. Even the farmer admitted that sometimes, in the moonlight, the face of that scarecrow scared him. But it worked. Not a single crow or rat dared to step foot on his property. Across the fence lived 2 lazy brothers, Josh and Harold. They barely tended their land and their crops always failed. Watching the old farmer's success made them burn with jealousy. If they could just get rid of him, they thought, maybe they could take over his land and make some real money. So one night, under a pale harvest moon, the brothers snuck onto the old man's property. They found the scarecrow standing tall in the middle of the field, its head turned slightly, almost like it was watching them. But they laughed, pulled it down, and dragged it back to their farmhouse. Inside, they shoved it into a closet. The room instantly smelled of earth, straw, and something rotten. But they didn't care. They'd finally stolen the old man's secret. The next morning, the old farmer woke up to find his field torn apart. Crows were everywhere, feasting on his crops. When he realized his scarecrow was gone, he dropped to his knees and wept, because he knew what that meant. He went to the brothers' house and asked if they had seen it. They smirked. "No idea what you're talking about, old man," Josh said. "Sucks to be you," Harold laughed. The farmer turned away silently. But as he walked off down the dusty road, the brothers could have sworn they saw a small smile on his face. That night, the brothers couldn't sleep. It wasn't guilt, it was the scarecrow's face that kept flashing in their minds. That crooked mouth, the hollow eyes, the rotting smell of straw. Finally, Harold got up and said, "We can't keep that thing here. I'll smash it to bits." They opened the closet, dragged out the scarecrow, and Harold grabbed a baseball bat. He swung it hard. The pumpkin head shattered across the floor, bits of orange flesh and seeds scattering everywhere. The brothers swept up the mess, threw it in the trash outside, and went back to bed, laughing. Somewhere after midnight, they woke up to a noise. Scratch, scratch, claw. Something was scraping at their bedroom door. "Did you forget to put the dog out?" Harold muttered. "We don't have a dog," Josh whispered. The door creaked open. Long, straw arms snaked in through the gap, followed by legs made of sticks that thumped against the floor. The headless scarecrow stepped inside. Harold screamed as one of the straw hands wrapped around his ankle, pulling him off the bed. Josh ran. He bolted down the hall, through the door, and into the night, barefoot and terrified. The road was empty under the moonlight. He didn't stop running until he reached the edge of the old farmer's property. And there, at the gate, the old man was waiting. He didn't move. He just smiled. Josh turned back and his heart stopped. The scarecrow was chasing him down the road, its long legs thumping faster and faster. And this time, it had a head again. A freshly carved pumpkin head. With Harold's terrified face carved right into it. If you saw a scarecrow that looked too real, would you dare walk past it at night?